Hello everyone and welcome to Jurassic World in Jurassic World Evolution 2. One night after drinking too many cocktails, I couldn't sleep because while the alcohol had left my body, the sugar and caffeine in the mixed drinks had not. So I did what any insomniac does. I recreated Jurassic World in Jurassic World Evolution. Because of course I did. Logic. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the park, show you the references I used, and explain some of the compromises that I had to make, and also some improvements that I definitely see after getting a good night's sleep. Just so you can prevent yourself from making the same mistakes I did if you are also planning on doing a recreation of Jurassic World. Do as I say, not as I do. On a Saturday at 2 a.m. So here we go. We're starting with kind of like the first shot that we get of the park in the film. You know, when Zach and Gray are in their hotel room and they look out and they get this massive view of the lagoon, the monorail, the innovation center in the background. It's our first look at a fully functioning dinosaur park, which is really, really cool. And I'm just gonna pull up the reference. I think this one worked out pretty well. Literally just took a screenshot of the film. I rewatched the film to get this to get these references. And if you watched me actually build this park, as I shared the video last Sunday, you'll see that I made a couple of mistakes that I had to correct later after actually thinking to myself, you know what? I should probably watch the movie. That'll probably be helpful. The hotel that Zach and Gray are actually in is not here. And that is because we are at the border of the map, and unfortunately I could not fit it in. So that was a little bit of a planning issue. If I actually go into the map view, you'll see that I kind of misjudged this. I started the lagoon too close to this end because I was aware, and let me actually pull up the other reference that I used. This is something that I referenced as well. This is not completely movie accurate, I'll say that right away, but you know, again, one of those compromises I had to make was get my information elsewhere. And you can see that really south of the lagoon there's nothing to the park. It's all north of the lagoon. So I figured when starting my park, I had to put the lagoon down south so I'd have room for all of this stuff up north. But in the end, I didn't really need that much space. I didn't do that much with what is supposed to be up here. And also a problem is, you see, I started doing the gyrosphere tour here. But yeah, I just didn't have the space for it. Whereas on the other side of the lagoon, I have oodles of space. So in terms of what would have been better placement, probably would have actually been, if I look at the map view, and this is just for, you know, tips for if you want to start doing this, is probably orient the park like this. So I oriented it, like if we look at it lengthwise, you know, from the main street, I oriented it like this. Big mistake. Big, huge. I should have done it like this. And then this section up here would have been fine for Indominus Rex and the aviary. Main Street, Lagoon, maybe tuck Zach and Gray's hotel in there, and then you can have the gyrosphere stuff on this side and stuff on this side. I think that would have been a little bit better. So that's just a little top tip from me. Speaking of, let me actually go over here to the kind of anticlimactic stuff first. This is the Indominus Rex enclosure. She is here. She's hiding. Not really. She's not even camouflaging. She's not even making an effort right now. She's like, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Are you gonna give us a show? No, just a sniff? No show, just a sniff. So yeah, this is the Indominus Rex Habitat. There really wasn't much to go of. Really, all we see of the exterior of the Indominus Rex is this shot. Watching the movie, I was really keeping my fingers crossed. Oh, please show us an aerial view of the paddock. Please, 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 while you're still in the helicopter. But unfortunately, it cuts to this. And the Indominus Rex enclosure is tiny, teeny, teeny tiny. Might even be smaller realistically than this, but this is as small as I made it. Of course, we're in sandbox, so she doesn't care. I also plopped down an aviary over here, but really, the movie doesn't give any details whatsoever about how guests come here. Also, it is a puny aviary compared to what we get in the movie. But I didn't want to do multiple domes, so I kind of let this slide, I guess. While building this park, what was also building was my frustration with the whole thing, really, because, and it's kind of crazy, and I put this in my building video as well, but you really don't have the tools in Jurassic World Evolution 2 to make Jurassic World. And that's kind of bonkers, really, when you think about it. You don't have the necessary terrain tools, you don't have the necessary buildings even. We got the right buildings in the first game, but at the moment, I mean, I do really enjoy the building system. I genuinely do. I think it's really nice, but for a recreation like this, we can't really do that. For example, this entrance style was the closest that I could find to resemble the round entrance of the gift shop, you know, stuff like that. So it was a constant game of compromise, and that made it a little frustrating, and that made me actually want to veer off course from the original quite a bit, because I was like, well, it's never really gonna look like the park anyway, so I might as well. And I really had to reel myself back in, but then the creativity flow just sort of stopped there, and it was a little stilted, all of it. So that is why I will fully admit that this park is incomplete. Now that we're on this main street, we might as well talk about the main street. Yes, it's too wide. That was a error in judgment. Let me pull up the main street. So I guess this one is pretty good. So first and foremost, you know, this main street in the movie, it's super crowded, so that makes it look more narrow, because it makes it look more cramped, feel more cramped. So that helps. That being said, yes, my main street is still far too wide. Definitely misjudged that. If you're gonna go with your own recreation, definitely make the main street more narrow. I do think it might be hard to get the wavy pattern in. Now, initially, I didn't even realize that Main Street does have a path design. So what I did first was I sort of tried to mimic the path design that is in this concept art. So I did a little circle, and upon closer inspection, actually, it is also a little wavy over here, but a different kind of wavy. Wavy has all sorts of variations, okay? And I did, like, stripes down Main Street, but it has this... It's more like this. It's an asymmetrical, wavy design. It's very difficult to see, because really the only time when we do see it in the movie is during the Pteranodon attack, and obviously there's a lot of camera movement going on there and a lot of stuff happening. So you can't get the clearest image, but this is sort of what we're dealing with. This might be a little challenging if you're going to make Main Street more narrow. What I think might be a solution, and let me just try that, actually. Let me actually try to make this a helpful video for if you want to create your own Jurassic World. What I think I should have done, instead of starting with the outline of Main Street, make the curves. I'm already going too big with the curves. You really can't go too big, because you have to keep in mind that we want to make a narrow Main Street this time around. So you curve, you curve, you curve, and then you do this. Ooh, it's difficult. Already going a little wide over here. But I think that is easier than what I did, which was start with the outline and then curve it, because then you're dealing with this. You're dealing with the snapping, which forces you to make the curves bigger than you might actually want. See, I made them a lot smaller over here. So I think that's actually the way to go. And then you go in, And you start somewhere, and you know, you gently curve it. I'm curving. Hold on. I'm curving the wrong way. It's more like this. This is very gentle curving. This is a very gentle curve. But I think you can see where I'm going with this. There, see? And now I've managed to make a a much more narrow main street while still keeping the curve in. So it can be done. There. This would be... So that would be a way better approach. So if you're gonna do this, start with 2 wavy lines next to each other, and then add... yeah, I could have shaved, like, quite a bit of space off Main Street that way. That's a tip for the future, because I do think, like, currently... by the way, that's important to note. You've probably noticed, but this park is unmodded. It's completely unmodded, so you can make this on console if you so desire. But as I was saying, I do plan on doing another recreation when eventually I will be using mods. There's a lot of really cool mods out already that really help with building in this game. I want to hold off on using them as of yet. At the moment, I really want to play the game as intended. But once I mod, I think I'm going to take another stab at it, because I think I can make it quite a bit better. Like all of this empty space between the buildings. We need to get rid of that if we want to do an accurate main street. So with the free build mod, I would actually be able to overlap these buildings so they're nice and flush and there's not this ton of empty space between them. So that's for the main street. Obviously, if you already have the game with mods, then that's a little tip right there. Now here we have a substitute for the Spinosaurus Skeleton, and this is the alleyway that Claire runs down as she asks Lowry to open the gate so she can fetch more teeth for the climactic final battle. We're running in heels. We smash through the skeleton. We have Main Street over here. This is sort of to mimic the amber that's over there. And then over here we have the guest entry to the kingdom. And I use the Jurassic Park gate over here. Unfortunately, we don't have the T-Rex Kingdom or the log gallery, which it's truly a shame. So what I did is just I made the basic shape of it with regular fencing. I put some viewing galleries on there, and that's really all I went with. Now, when we look at it from the top, I was quite shocked when I first discovered this. I genuinely thought the T-Rex Kingdom was some sort of perfectly sided polygon. It is not. It is a very askew, uneven heptagon. I was thinking it was like a perfect octagon or perfect hexagon. No, it is an uneven heptagon. You can see that in the concept art. You can actually also see it in the movie. I haven't screenshotted this scene because I just missed it while watching last time. But I do know that there is an aerial shot of the T-Rex Kingdom, and even though it's at a bit of an angle, so it's a little difficult to tell, you can definitely tell that one side is a lot longer than the other sides. And I was able to get the shape pretty well thanks to this reference image over here. And this is actually, this might look familiar to you if you've played Jurassic World Evolution 1. This is from a mod for Jurassic World Evolution 1. I think it's by Radar 1985. And he modded the T-Rex Kingdom structure into the game using the model from a different official Jurassic World game, as far as I'm aware. So this is the actual shape of the T-Rex Kingdom, and here you see there is a big gate over there, and that's what I used the park gate for. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, so that's Main Street. We're going down over here. And now we have the lagoon. And the lagoon is one of those other things that I had to compromise on. Let me... okay, so what I did, for example, and as a lot of people have done recreations, as far as I've been able to tell, I'm the only one who decided to do this. I put like this little... well, what are we gonna call it? This little bulge at the end of Main Street into the lagoon, because that's, well, sort of what we have in the movie. Obviously, this one is a lot... Oh god, what am I doing? Who am I harming? Oh, right, I have food needs turned on so I could get a good shot of the Mosa. Whoops! But yeah, you can see that there's this this little curved shape as an extension of the Main Street. And there's no way to get that with the Lagoon tool that we have. It's a very basic tool with how you place the circles next to each other. So this was the best way to sort of replicate that. And I do like how this looks. I do prefer this to what I've seen other people do, was to either continue the curve like this, or to have a straight lagoon over here, which is what I've seen mostly. I'm not claiming to be the only one, by the way. You might be able to point to 3 other YouTubers who also did this. I'm just saying I haven't seen it, but I do prefer the look of this. Put some tables and parasols on there. As a result, this section, by the way, is a lot bigger than it is in the movies, but that is one of those many compromises that had to be made. Here we have the stadium, which of course looks nothing like the actual stadium, but again, that's due to the limitations in the game. You can't get these closer together. I also had to place the shark feeder way off center from the stadium. That's just one of the things with the tools that I couldn't get around. Over here we have a straight side, and that is from, again, this reference over here. You can see that this side is completely straight. And then we're back at the hotel section, and of course in the movie, you know, the lagoon is one continuous thing. It's separated by a gate, which, by the way, seems like such a safety hazard for people to be swimming over here, and there's just a gate between stupid people, stupid fleshy people, and this giant marine reptile. But okay, safety really wasn't a main concern at Jurassic World. Let's be honest. Claire, let's be honest. Sorry. So we couldn't do that because obviously we wanted a lagoon where a Mosasaurus could swim, but we also wanted a nice beachy section. So I separated it like so. I probably could have actually gotten rid of these sections right here. Straighten out this end of the lagoon and then just use the water for that. No motivation for why I just didn't think of it. And then I replicated the shape of the beach with the hotels over here. By the way, something. I always thought that the monorail actually went into the Innovation Center, but it doesn't. You can see it a little bit in this image, not perfectly. But the monorail actually goes over here. This is a station to the side of the Innovation Center. Let me see if I can... there was a better reference image that I had. Let me see if I can scrounge that up. Here, you can see very clearly this is the concrete monorail track over here. And it comes into this little station on the side, which looks very different from this station, which is the monorail entry point. But unfortunately, the only monorail stations that we have in the game is modeled more after that entry point. So it's this hugely elevated structure. The monorail's also a lot higher than it is in the movie, which is a shame, kind of a thorn in my eye. The one that they use... Oh my god, I clicked it away. I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry. Where is it? Where is you? This is a really low structure. Like, it's not even that much taller than the train itself that's coming in. But we don't have that in the game, so the only thing I could do was lower the terrain next to the Innovation Center. You can see right there the difference in elevation over here. So I lowered the terrain so that optically the monorail was as low as it can go while still being close to the Innovation Center, because I'm not using any mods. So the terrain slope is very gentle. Let me get rid of some of the trees. The terrain slope, as you can see, is very gentle. So if I were to make this monorail station as low as really it should be for the reference image to work, then the monorail station would have to be like somewhere over here, and then it also wouldn't work. Again, compromise, compromise, compromise. And the same goes for how this then attaches to the rest of the park. I got a comment about this. Someone saying, I don't think the monorail entrance attaches directly to the T-Rex kingdom. No, of course it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense. But I couldn't go anywhere else because of what I had to do with the terrain. If you do your recreation, you can go at it the other way. You can have the path connect like this and go over here. By the way, this honking patch of dirt over here is kind of like the petting zoo. There were a lot of rocks around the petting zoo. Of course, we don't have baby dinosaurs, so it's empty. I killed something. I killed 2 things. I'm so sorry. Don't worry, when I... Oh... F's in the chat. Don't worry. I have a very simple trick. I'm gonna revive them, okay? Don't worry, it'll be okay. Ta-da! Magic trick. They're alive. She's fine. She's absolutely fine. I'm gonna go over here. Dinosaurs don't dehydrate. Dinosaurs don't starve. Bang! Enjoy your powers of immortality. Alright. Spared no expense. So I think that concludes the tour of this park. Yes, it is a very different kind of tour from usual. Usually what I do is I walk around, but really not quite sure what the added value of that is when we're just looking at it like so. But you know, let's look at it like so. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you want to see more Jurassic World Evolution 2 content, then please subscribe to the channel. I'm happy to have you guys join. We're inching our way to 90,000 subscribers. So if you want to join the Evolution Square pack, herd, whatever we are, then yeah, consider joining the channel, hitting the subscribe. Alright, I want to thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.